looks like we're live streaming.
Yep, we are live streaming. Good to go.
Okay, so I want to call the meeting to order for the St. Catharines Heritage Advisory Committee's Designations Subcommittee meeting for February the 14th, 2025. We're a little bit late getting started today. It's 2:55 according to my clock. So we begin this gathering by acknowledging that the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe peoples, many of whom continue to live and work here today. This territory is covered by the Upper Canada Treaties and is within the land protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement. Today, this gathering place is home to many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples. Acknowledging this reminds us that our great standard of living is directly related to the resources and friendship of the Indigenous people. Do we have any additions or deletions to be made to the agenda?
I just wanted to add an introduction to our student planner, Nishida. I think I added it to the script.
Okay.
Kind of the first item.
I guess we've covered that now, haven't we? Or do we want to say any more about that?
Okay, yeah, let's do it. I just wanted to introduce everybody and welcoming Nishida. She's our student planner for the next couple of months. She's going to be at all of our Heritage Advisory Committee meetings and the Designation Subcommittee meetings, and she's going to be helping us both with the minutes as the student planner usually does, and also she's hoping to be involved with this committee and helping us with some research. So, Nishida, if you wanted to introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi everyone, I'm Nishida. I'm currently a third-year planning student at Waterloo. But yeah, I'm excited to help with the committee.
Great.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah, we're very, very glad to have you helping us out. Yeah.
Can we have a motion to approve the agenda then?
Yeah, we can make that motion.
Thank you. And all in favor? Okay. Minutes of the previous meetings. Wow, November the 15th, 2024. That's been a while. Do we have any changes to be made? Questions, comments? Holly?
When I was reading through, there was a lot of misspelling of your name, Brian. You were named Brain quite a few times.
So I hear.
I know you are the brain of the Heritage Committee. Just a note about that.
That one, yeah, that one we did catch in the public version that was published. But thank you.
So they've been changed already?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we don't have to make any motion for an amended set of minutes then?
Mm-hmm.
Or do we have to motion that they're amended?
We could motion that they're as amended. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So do we have a motion to that effect? Robert, thank you. And all in favor? Done. Declarations of interest. Do we have any conflicts today? And seeing none, I guess we can move on to the business at hand. We've already introduced Nishida, so item 7.2. Lauren, updating us on the research.
Let me just share my screen. Boop. There we go. All right. So just kind of, I expect this will be, pretty brief. I just mostly wanted to kind of get everyone together so we can talk about the, 2025 work plan for the collection of properties that we identified as being priorities for kind of the next, at least if, few months, couple, or up to this year, and kind of update you on the items that we have, the kind of research, the background information that we have, kind of talk about, what's still needed, and kind of talk internally what we want our, as a volunteer committee, what do we want our deadlines, internal deadlines to look like, and kind of the next steps for those properties. So there we go. So I've put together just kind of like what we have, what we need, and for each of the properties that we've prioritized, and kind of where things are at. I know for this collection of properties, we're really interested in moving forward with the designation. I have taken photos, and Andrew has provided some photos, and also I know that there are some historical photos that we have for that. And Brian, I know that you were working on some land use history. Can you give us a little kind of update on where that is around, or if yeah.
Yeah, I've just got the research done. I haven't actually sat down to write it up.
Okay. So I guess I had this conversation with Andrew because he is working on the Elizabeth Street property. And it was more like the format, or the kind of like the, I guess, deliverable, but like the what would be submitted and what is needed. So and it really is up to you. You have a lot of experience writing land use histories, and so you probably are really comfortable writing it up yourself. But also anyone, just let you know, if you want to, do the research and provide it like in a rougher format, if you just want to provide the research that you have, or if you have like in a spreadsheet the history of land transactions, or if it really depends on your comfort level and what you're comfortable with putting together. But I'm assuming, Brian, that you want to do the write up, because you're I've read a couple of yours and they're really amazing. So
I'm an old hand at it, so
yeah,
I'll do it.
tell. Yeah, but for anyone else who wants to help out with this work, you don't have to go through the whole process of writing it out. If you just want to put together the background research or the mapping or whatever, that's also helpful and a good approach. I think for this property, I'm going to take on both the putting together like an architectural description, and also this description of local context, because it's something I enjoy doing, and I think will help move it forward. And then once we have all those materials together, I can put together a 906 matrix and then present it to the committee, and we could talk through it together. I think that would be the best approach. So I guess one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was deadlines. Brian, what's your capacity like for doing that write up? Like, what do you think would be a reasonable deadline for you for the land use history?
I could maybe try and aim for next month.
Next month? Okay.
Just to try and get stuff like this out of the way, because there's a couple of land registry class things that I'll be doing again in March, April. So I'd like to get it out of the way.
Okay. So that, like, do you think before our next meeting, or by the end of the month, or what would you be comfortable with?
I'd like to maybe try and get it done before the next subcommittee meeting, so maybe we can discuss it at that time.
Okay. I'm just gonna write. Okay, sounds good. And then once we have that, and I'll also work on the architectural description and the description of local context, and I can present that at the next meeting as well. And then we'll figure out the deadline for 906 after we have all the materials together. Okay, that's great. I think that'll be a good approach. Again, for Elizabeth Street, we have a really nice collection of photos from the public right of way from Robert, which is really good. I spoke to Andrew last week about his research, and he's putting that together too. He's not at this meeting, so maybe I'll send a follow-up email with him. Hopefully he's okay, and then I'll figure out a deadline for that that works for him. And the same thing, I'll aim for whenever Andrew, has that capacity to have the land use history, when we will have the kind of the same process where he can bring it to, one of the next upcoming meetings, and then I can also present the architectural description and the local context at the same meeting, and then we can, have kind of a discussion around the values that we're seeing or not seeing, and then I can use that to inform the 906 evaluation for that. So that's good. For 15 Welland, Nishida has offered or is taking on some of the research for this property. So I'll be working with Nishida and kind of giving her kind of like a rundown on how to do the land use histories and how to describe, find the architectural styles specific to Ontario and the language we use around that, and also about talking about context and how to describe the surrounding landscape. And the sheet is with us until the end of April, so we're going to have kind of a goal of having those things together by the end of April. Maybe Nishida, you'll be able to present to the committee, or depending on how the timing works out. But I think that would be really great. Brian, your land use history, your registry class. Do you have level 1 coming up, or is it level 2 that's coming up?
It's going to be introductory, so level 1.
Level 1? Oh, well, maybe we should look into that. Because I know that I want to take the level 1 as well, because I'm going to take the level 2 and I want to have that full background. So maybe Nishida, we can look into doing that, because this is the land registry research is the kind of the primary place where you start putting together land use history. It has all the history of land transactions related to a property. So maybe that's something we can look into.
If you have trouble, doing the land use history for this, I mean, don't hesitate to ask. I can help you out, because navigating, the downtown of St. Catharines through land registry can be a minefield.
Yeah, I was hoping this, because of the significance of this one, it might be a little bit easier to track it down, but yeah, you're right. I don't know. So definitely we'll reach out if there's definitely reach out.
Because keep in mind, for this one, you'll be looking at City West records.
Okay, I'll make a note of that, actually.
Because Geneva Street is the dividing line in the city for land registry in the early 1900s. So, anything on the one side is City East, anything on the other side is going to be City West.
Yep. I was navigating that when I was doing the research for the one Pelham. And that really, okay, so we'll start with the city. Thank you. I appreciate that. And then we have 4 other properties that we've prioritized right now. A couple others, but we have plans for those ones. So these are the ones that we still need research for. 1 Welland, 219 Merritt Street, 38 Geneva, and 260 Vine. And I guess I was just wondering if anybody had any interest or capacity in the next, couple of months of either going out and getting photos or doing some historical research. Robert?
Sure. I'd be happy to take pictures of these.
Okay. You want to take all four, or are there two, or
Well,
whatever?
there's only 3 of us at the moment.
Fair,
Sure.
fair. Okay, okay. Robert is going to be our photo guy.
There you go.
Okay.
Have camera, will travel.
Amazing. Yeah, and just as a reminder, we're just from the public right of way, and you don't have to go inside any of the buildings. Just
I can get in
whenever.
trouble by standing outside of the buildings.
Yeah. Yeah.
What happened to all the pictures that we did take when we split up the kind of areas and we were all assigned pictures, and we took a
Yeah.
whole bunch of these because I did
Took
that.
a lot of them.
I did
Mhm.
that Welland Avenue one, and I did the number one well.
Okay, so there should be so a folder somewhere from like
Yeah, they should
when
be
you and
all
James were
filed
doing the
there.
prior. I'll ask James about that because when he showed me the results of the prioritization process, it was just in like a spreadsheet format. So I'm sure it's on our server somewhere, and he just has to point me to the right place, and maybe
Yeah,
we have, yeah.
We all submitted reports rating these
Mhm.
various buildings, and we took
Mhm.
photographs.
Mhm.
Probably only 1 or 2 photographs at the time, but
Yeah, it'll help.
should be quite helpful.
Yeah. James is on holiday right now, but when he gets back, I'll ask him where on the server those photos were saved and collected, and then I can maybe extract the ones specific to the ones that we're prioritizing now. I know Mark isn't here, but he was working on the land use history for 219 Merritt. Okay. I think that's, I mean, I think that's probably a good start for now, for a kind of a goal to have uh, these items for St. Paul Crescent to discuss at the next meeting, maybe Elizabeth Street at the following meeting, or in one of the next two upcoming meetings, 2 or 3 okay meetings, and then working with Nishida for April on this one, and then as we go, we can and then people are able to help out, and we can talk about next steps for the other 4 on the list. Yeah.
I can certainly do the research for 38 Geneva and 260 Vine.
Great.
And if I have the time, I might do the number 1 Welland as well. But
Sure.
I know I've got bits and pieces of stuff about Geneva Street and Vine Street already in my files. So
Oh, perfect. Wonderful. Fantastic. I'm really curious about this one and its history. And
well,
30, all of them really, yeah. But
260 Vine Street belonged to the Mr. Puccini, the macaroni king of St. Catharines.
yeah. Fascinating. It's so interesting.
Wonderful building.
Yeah, it is a wonderful building. Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. Well,
I mean, we don't have too many, Tuscan style Italianate villas like that in the city, so it's really unique.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's a really, really gorgeous and unique building with a very interesting history. So I think it's probably, I know we selected these in part because we were pretty confident that they were going to meet 906, but yeah,
Mhm.
be interesting to see what we come up with.
260 Vine Street was owned by or rented by one of the local Finnish families way back when, and the family decided that they had to install a sauna in the building, and the lady of the house went down to have a steam one night and died while she was having her sauna.
Oh my
And
gosh.
they didn't know that she had passed away until they're going, well, where's mother? We haven't seen her for a few hours, and there she was dead in the steam bath.
Oh my gosh.
Mm.
Wow. It is buildings all have these very interesting stories associated with them,
Yeah.
and the older they are, the more interesting
Yeah.
stories are.
There may be some concern with this building too. If you look at an overhead view, there's a very large lot abutting this. I'm not sure whether title is merged or not, but it's a very big developable lot on Vine Street. So, yeah, I'd have some concerns about this. I think we should move fairly quickly.
Okay.
Is that the lot that's on the south side of this one?
It would be on the south side, yes. East off Vine.
Right.
It's a very large lot with a small opening onto Vine Street, but it backs onto behind this building as well as beside it. So that could be of concern if someone wanted to develop that lot. Just saying.
I have a question, just
Yeah, go ahead.
it's a little bit, it's not to do with the properties that we have listed. Can I ask about something else? It's not on the agenda.
Sure, I guess.
Yeah.
Why not?
We're here.
Thanks, Brian. Just I was driving this morning downtown, and there was that old building, King Street. It was do you remember Henry Furze? It was a very unique. It's a unique looking building with the glass. How it's like really nicely shaped in the front window.
Right.
Henry Furze, #1 King, I think it is. Well, next door to it, I see they had some demolition equipment, and they were taking down that building that had a fire. Did that have anything historic to downtown, that building? I don't know what the address would be. There was a fire. It's like kitty corner across the street from the Welland House Hotel, former Welland House Hotel property.
Was that the one where they had the abortion clinic?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's particularly important.
Okay.
Through the chair, I can offer that it was 3 King Street. It was the source of a dangerous fire. It has previously been used as a I'll say a boarding house, and there were some undesirable activities that led to a fire. Ultimately, a demolition permit was issued, and at time of building permit application, it was reviewed to make sure that it wasn't on a register or designated, and it was not. So the demolition permit was approved, and the building is now coming down.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Tim.
So I guess is that the end of the discussion about your updates?
Yep,
So
that's it.
So I guess we need to have a motion to receive your updates.
I'd be happy to make that motion.
Robert, thank you. And all in favor? Okay. Next steps, item 7.3.
I always add this item, and I always realize we don't need it after
Okay.
we get to it, because we've discussed next steps already. But yeah, as discussed, we'll move forward with the research that we've been talking about, and we'll see each other next month.
Yeah. So we don't have any business arising from the minutes, no correspondence. So that being said, I guess our next meeting then is March the 14th. Same bat time, same bat place, same bat station. So I guess we are going to adjourn then for the afternoon.
I guess that's it.
Why
Does
not?
somebody wish to make the motion to adjourn? Holly, I saw your hand go up, sneaking up. And all in favor? Okay. So we're adjourned at 3:19.
Thank you, Brian.
Thanks,
Brian.
everybody.
Well,
Thanks,
thank you, everyone.
Have a good long weekend.
Nice to meet you, Nishita. Thanks. Bye,
Yep.
Tam.
Have a
Thanks,
nice
everyone.
Have a great
Valentine's
long
Day.
weekend, and happy Valentine's. Yep.
Happy
Family.
Valentine's Day.